How can buying a house help you build wealth? Well, there's a lot of opinions about it. I'm an expert and a millionaire in real estate since 1999. I love real estate. So we're going to get into a lot of details. Specifically, we're going to talk about the numbers versus emotional decisions. Most people make emotional one-time decisions in real estate. This is about numbers if you really want to be an investor and grow wealth. The second thing we're going to talk about is choosing. Are you really in the business of real estate? Are you an investor in real estate? And there's a massive difference. We're going to go into that detail. And the last thing we're going to talk about is the importance of replicating and duplicating your teams, your system, your processes. There were moments in my career where I did over 1,000 real estate transactions. I had real estate in 29 states at one time. I had hundreds of different investors, all owning single family, duplexes, fourplexes, but mostly all residential, which is under 5 units. Mass chaos. We had everybody in LLCs. You should have seen the accounting structure. So as we go into the details, I want to break this down, but let's just get to the answer right now. So here's the answer. I'm actually just going to read off some of the facts that you're going to see all over the internet, because I think the internet's like the bathroom wall. You're going to see a little bit from everyone, and the bathroom wall is going to tell you whatever you want to read about. But I can tell you what I teach about. My kids, both say now my daughter's, going to school. My son is a master's degree, about to become a CPA, works for a high-level great firm. Would say, nobody has ever taught me, Mom, what you teach, which is this. And we've had kids in MBA programs say the same thing. So we are after a massive bank account using real estate, not a massive bad attitude. That's just extra letters behind your name to give you a big raise in your job. Here's the answer, though, if you want it, is how can buying a house help you build wealth over time? There's equity growth, right? So over time, as you pay a mortgage down, the home values probably will appreciate depending on where you are, which is a form of growing wealth. Cash flow, obviously, depending if you're going to put your property into Airbnb, short-term rentals or long-term rentals, you'll get some cash flow out of them. Tax benefits, real estate, obviously depreciation, tax benefits. If you do any rehab or even fix or flips, very different tax strategies. And for the ultra wealthy, I'm going to say if you're worth millions and millions, another strategy is, do you even need a home, or do you put it in an LLC and it's part of an entire estate of investment properties? Higher level strategy for those of you that are higher level. Also, just leverage. Leverage in general, by using a mortgage, you control a valuable asset with relatively small amount of your own money. But the leverage that I'm going to teach you about if you become an investor in real estate is how do you use other people's money, other people's IRA, other people's credit. Not going to go into those details today. I have plenty here on my channel after over 3 years of being here. So put in the search bar, how to use other people's money, other people's credit, other people's IRA. I have plenty of videos that will teach you those facts specifically. And then the last is appreciation, which again, a long haul, most real estate appreciates. It's very rare that it will go down. Why I like land in your portfolio is just one of those stock and block that you can either bank, you can develop. It just gives you lots of options. But buying land, I can tell you, you sitting here in America that have a huge election coming up. We're recording this in September of 2024. There are more countries buying our land than U.S. citizens. So it's fascinating to me when U.S. citizens complain they aren't in real estate because you needed to get in real estate, and our land is being bought up all over. Now, back to our formulas. So there's your easy answer. Is it used to build wealth? Absolutely. Everyone that I know that's wealthy, that I've helped become a millionaire, where I've helped guide them, real estate has some form of their portfolio, even if they're just the note holder and the mortgage holder, which means you really are just the bank, which, it's a very preferred position to be in if you want to do that work. There's differences in all of that. We'll get to that in a moment. So first of all, let's talk about running the numbers is an absolute key to your success. So most people make emotional decisions, and women, I'm just going to speak to you personally, you make decisions like this house is a home. It's not. If you're buying a house, you're buying it to rent, short-term rental, Airbnb, and just know the difference. If you're building your home, like your dream home, you're going to live in it, you're going to be there, it's going to be part of your estate. Again, whether you put that in a corporate structure or leave it into your own name, homestead it, and then put it into a trust, which is, the way a lot of people would do it, it's up to you. It's really up to your tax situation and whether you want to do it or not. But the numbers are critical. And what is your goal really determines your numbers. Are you really in this for the cash flow? Are you in it for appreciation? Because depending on your market, I have some partners and some big table clients who just flipped downtown Kansas City. You wouldn't think they'd flip at the plaza. I mean, they bought in for millions. It appreciated for millions. There wasn't a ton of cash flow, but they flipped and made probably $750,000, $800,000 on a big, big flip and acquired, a fair amount down. Some of you who just want to get started, there are so many loans in the works right now. And especially if you have any military, USAA, any VA loans are great loans, USDA, FHA. There's a lot of really beginning home loans for first-time home buyers that are out there. So again, you have to say to yourself, where does this fit in my portfolio? For me, why did I become a real estate millionaire first? It was the easiest and obvious answer for me. I had 18,000 people in a database who had played cash flow, bought the Rich Dad, Poor Dad products. And in 1999, I got pregnant with my son, knew I'd be a single mom, time to go be a millionaire, and did it by using the database and acquiring all the property that I just spoke of. So numbers are critical, knowing your numbers. Those of you who move from a house, because this video is about a house, not like commercial and multi-units. As you move to multi-units and commercial, then you're going to shift lending opportunities to be in non-recourse loans versus recourse loans, which is against your credit or other people's credit. So that's kind of fact number one. You've got to know your numbers. And as you move into commercial, you're going to want to know what the cap rates are and your IRRs. Very different numbering structure than those of you who stay in just buying a house. And there are some people who buy their rules, or I want to buy a house once a quarter. I have people who buy houses once a month. I have people who buy a house a year for the 10 years, and they have 10 houses at the end of it. Totally up to you and your money rules, but numbers are your number one key to making sure this works. And you better know your numbers going in on how you're going to get out. There's too many of you that emotionally decide, oh, I fell in love with the property or what you were going to assume is your home. It's not your home. You're going to rent this thing. It's just a house. So know your numbers and know what your goals are as you walk into it. Now, the second part is, are you in the business of real estate, or are you going to be a real estate investor? So I went in 1999 to about 2004. I was in the business of real estate. So yes, I was educating and I was mentoring and I was coaching people and I'd started my big table, but the focus was really real estate centric. I took people on real estate tours. It's what I did every month. I took them around the country. I took them to see the markets that I was investing in. I mean, from New Jersey to Alabama to, oh my gosh, Arkansas, Mississippi, Oklahoma, Texas, Kansas, Missouri, Iowa, Ohio, Indiana, you name it, we went there, we took you on tours. And then thank gosh we got out, and before 2000, like the 6, 7, 8, crash, we got out. And I started to flip businesses because I thought, heck, if I can do this much with real estate, what could I do if I actually started flipping businesses? So I moved from being in the business of real estate to an investor. So now I'm extremely passive. I know the numbers. I have a very specific team and a system that I replicate and duplicate, and I buy the same stuff over and over. And I have very, very few single family houses. I have a lot of commercial real estate now. So it tends to be the trajectory of someone in real estate where you start with small fix and flips, notes, single family, small residential, and then you move to commercial, and then you go all in. But whether you're in the business, which means every day you're going to be actively doing it, is a very different tax strategy than being an investor in real estate. And your long-term, short-term capital gains will be a huge piece of that tax equation. Now, before I give you the finale of our conversation today, I want you to subscribe to my channel. I want you here 5 days a week. We make this family friendly for you and your family, and I want you to consume it. So a few things I'm going to give you as gifts. Number one, I'm going to give you 2 tickets to our Millionaire Intensive, teaching you how to live corporate life. How do you become a millionaire, and how do you use real estate to do it? Because a lot of you don't understand fast cash in real estate, and you need to have some fast cash. You also need to have some really good credit, and you're going to have some capital to get started. So all of that we'll go through. We're not going to go into all of the details of real estate. We're just going to talk about the comprehensive view of how do you become a 3 to 5 year millionaire. Then I also want to give you a link to binge watch. So you can binge on corporate structure, on corporate credit, on OPM, which is other people's money, other people's IRA. So binge watch for 25 hours. Use the link below to track it. And we give you $750 of credit towards new purchases and tuition. So that's a cool thing we've been doing to help you guys consume content, because the smarter you are, the faster we can move you in the content knowledge and the coaching and mentoring that we provide you. As you get into any of our work, you can always go to askloral.com, ASKLORAL, ask a question, make a request. And we have a whole team here and remote that will get back to you, do a one-on-one call, a gap analysis, which is in the first 3 chapters of The Millionaire Maker. So read it, consume it. You can grab the first 3 chapters also in the description below. And let's get you really, really smart and clear about money and how you want to build your wealth, how real estate will be a part of it. So the last is replicate and duplicate. And I would not advise anybody to do it the way that I did it in 1999. It got really, really like a lot of tentacles and a lot of investors and a lot of LLCs. Nothing was the security. It was really mom and pop fix and flips and long-term rentals. So then you get smarter and you start systemizing. You start really replicating and duplicating the team. You want to duplicate your systems, your accounting, your tax strategy. And again, what is the goal of you being in real estate? And be really clear, if you're going to stay in storage, then go big in storage. If you're going to be in RV parks, go big. Like, stay in your lane. What I see with real estate investors, if you get too spread out in too many categories, too many strategies, you don't have enough team, because you have team that execute in certain areas really well and not in others. So make sure your team and your systems are there to duplicate and replicate for your success. Can you build wealth in real estate? Absolutely. I did it. You can do it as well. Talk to you tomorrow.